This is going to be hopefully a quick example of creating tables using C#. I'm going to start with File, New, Project. We're going to make sure that we're in C# here. Come down, we'll check the Web Application.NET Framework. Call mine Assign02. I'm going to put it out on the desktop so it's easy to find for me during the example. Solution name, that's fine. I'll just choose web forms there. That'll be fine. I'm going to uncheck the configure for HTTPS. And there we've got it loaded. So over here in my Solution Explorer, I've got my my default stuff that loads whenever I choose web forms. I am going to right-click, add new item. I'm going to make sure we're in C#. We want a web form, just a plain old web form. I'm going to call it table.aspx. We'll see that appear over here in our Solution Explorer. I'm going to have open both table.aspx and aspx.cs, and those are the two files that we'll be using today. There's not going to be much inside of table.aspx. I'm just going to put a panel in there. So you can use your toolbox if you want. Grab a panel, drop it in here. So I've got inside of my open and close div elements, I've got an ASP:panel, ID equals. I'm going to change that ID instead of the default panel 1. I'm going to name it my table. Runout equals server. I'm going to do a Control-Shift-B. It says build started down here. Build succeeded. Now, this is actually it for this page, but while I'm here, I want to talk a little bit about just HTML tables, because what we're creating in the .cs file is an HTML table. So you don't need to add any of this, just use it as an example. So in HTML, we would have a table tag, and then within a table tag, we could have a TR tag, or as many TRs as we want. Right, so let's say we create one with 4 rows in the table, but then within each of those TRs, we may have several cells. And so I could wind up having some of my things there, make it line up. So if I created just a plain old HTML table, and then content would go in here. So just a plain old HTML table. This has 5 columns. So TableCell, those are columns. So it's got 5 columns going across, and it's got 3 rows of 5 columns. So it's just a spreadsheet, right? 3 rows of 5 columns. In the C#, we are going to be creating some text or images, and that is the content. And we're going to do a .add to add it to the TC, or the table cell. Once we have created the table cell, we're going to do a .add to add it to the table row, or the TR. And in this case, we would create content, add it to the TC, add the TC to the TR. Create this content, add it to the TC, add that to the TR. We do that 3 more times, And then on this last one, we'd add the content, add it to the TC, then we'd add it to the TR. And now that row is complete, and we would add that TR to the table. And that's the sequence that we go through in C#. So I'm going to delete all this because we don't need it for this exercise. Do my Control-Shift-B again, make sure it succeeds. Did fine. The rest of what we do is going to be in the .cs. So we've got our page load event here. Our using statements up here are fine. We should be fine with what's there. Inside of page load, we're going to start adding some content. So I'm going to create a table cell, and a table row. So I'll do System.Web.UI.WebControls.Table. The name of it that I'm going to give it is just the word table, equal to new, and it automatically pops up there for me, equals to new table. So I am instantiating an instance of an object, of the table object. I'm calling it, this is the name I'm going to be using, table. I'm going to do that 2 more times. And this time it's going to be TableCell, this one here. I'm just going to call it TC to keep it similar to the example we just did. Same thing right there, and one more time. And this time table row. And I'm going to call it TR again to keep it similar to an HTML example. I'm going to do a Control-Shift-B. Build succeeded, so I'm good there. I'm going to go ahead and over here on the aspx, I'm going to right-click, View in Browser. And so, I mean, we've not put anything on the page, but it loads fine. There's no error. So that's what we're looking for. We'll come back here. We're going to set some properties of the table. So we'll do table.width is equal to 360. Table.cell padding we'll set to 0. Table.cell spacing we'll set to 1. Now we'll start by using the table column. So we'll do a TC, and we'll set the column span to 3, just like we would in attributes if we were creating it in HTML. I'm now going to instantiate an instance of an image so that I can use it. So do System.Web.UI.WebControls.Image, and I'm going to call it img, just like the img tag in HTML, equals new. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do System.Web.UI.WebControls again .image, because there are a lot of images in the .NET framework, and I want to make sure that we point to exactly the one that we want to use. Then I'm going to do image URL. Oops. Is equal to, and all we need is, well, I'm gonna place the images in the same folder as the solution. So topbanner.jpg, end it with a semicolon. I'm going to set the image visibility property to true. I'm going to set the image width to 360 to match the table. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. I'm sorry if that's coming across in the audio. so I apologize. Now, we have created an image, and now we need to add that image to the TC, the table cell. So we'll do tc.controls.add, and we give it the image, end it with a semicolon. We'll do tc.horizontal alignment is equal to horizontal align.center, so that we center it in that cell. And now we're going to add it to the table row. So we've got tr.controls.add, and we add the TC. After that, we want to add that to the table. So we'll do table.controls.add tr. So now what we've done is, now this, we did a column span of 3. So we're going to have 3 columns, right? But on this particular cell, it's spanning all 3 of those columns. It's going to have an image that is the full width of the table, 360. We added that image content to the table cell. We center aligned the table cell. We added that table cell to the table row. Then we added that table row to the table itself. I'm going to go ahead right here, and this will be below. This is going to be the last line of code that you see. So we'll keep that at the bottom. I'll do a myTable.controls.add, and we will add the table to the panel. Remember, the panel we put on the .aspx was called myTable. So we just added that to the panel. You'll only have this line one time in this code, and it's going to be the bottom line of your code. So all the rest is going to get added in here. I'm going to do Control-Shift-B. Build started, build succeeded. I'm going to come back here to Table, View in Browser. It loaded. There's a broken image there because I haven't placed that image into the folder. So what I've done is, in Assign02, I've pasted my JPEGs into that same folder at the same level as table.aspx. And if I refresh, my image shows up there. So now the rest is pretty repetitive. We've shown already pretty much anything that you might have a hang up with, but I'll go through another row here, and we'll see how it builds out. So we'll put a comment that says new row or next row, something like that. I'm going to use my tr variable, and I'm going to set it equal to a new table row. I'm going to use my tc variable and set it equal to a new table cell. Each time, each new row, you've got to do these 2 lines. Table row tr equals a new table row, tc equals a new table cell. If you don't do that, then you're going to be replacing what you've already added to the table. On this one, we'll do a tc.columnSpan again is equal to 3. So again, we're doing one cell, spans all 3 columns. We're going to add text to this one. Set that equal to a text literal team comparison Don't forget your semicolon. We'll set the background color equal to system.drawing.color.white. We'll set the horizontal alignment equal to horizontal align.center. Set the font size equal to 14. We'll do a underline, and then we add. So we'll do a tr.controls.add the TC. And then we do a table.controls.add the tr. Control-Shift-B, build succeeded. So we've created a second table row. It has one table cell in it that spans all 3 columns. And it's just going to say team comparison inside of it. So I'll come over here to table, view in browser. So now I've got my image and my team comparison there. Again, these rows it's going to be repetitive going down through here. And if you copy and paste much, it's going to be very easy for you to mess it up. So I'm going to do a couple of more rows. I'll do the next one in line. It is very similar to the one we just added. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here, copy, and paste it. So I've got, again, TR equals a new table row, just like up here. TC equals a new table cell, because I'm on the next row. This one is likewise going to span 3 columns. However, we're going to change this text to be page reloads every 30 seconds. The back color is going to stay white. The horizontal alignment is going to stay at center. The font size, however, is going to be smaller and change to 10 instead of 14. And then we do an add. We add the table cell to the table row. We add the table row to the table. Control-Shift-B, build succeeded. And there it is. So now the next one actually has 3 table cells, and it's got 2 images in it. So we're going to start off the same way, but instead of copying and pasting here, we're going to type this one out. So we'll do tr equals new table row, and tc equals new table cell. Again, if you forget that, what's going to happen is that it's going to take the new stuff that you write and it's going to put it into the old tr and tc and change the content that you've added. So you've got to create a new instance for each row and each cell. So in this one we've got an image and then some text and then an image. So we'll start with image is equal to new. And again, we're going to go all the way through System.Web.UI.WebControls.Image just to make sure that we are accessing the exact control that we want. We're going to set the image URL equal to Purdue.JPG, and we'll set visible to true. And then we're going to add that. So we'll do tc.controls.add the image. Then we're going to do horizontal alignment and width. So tc.horizontal_align is equal to horizontal align.center. tc.width we'll set to 100. And then we need to add that TC to the TR. So Controls.Add the TC. So we've added one table cell. Remember, these others spanned 3 columns. In this one, we are actually creating all 3 columns. So this was our first column, our first TC. We've added it to the table row. So the first thing we need to do is instantiate a new instance of the table cell again. And we're going to do tc.text is equal to text literal versus. We'll set the horizontal alignment font. We'll center that. We'll set the font size to 14. We'll set bold equal to true. We'll set the width equal to 160. And now we need to add that again. So TableRow.Controls.Add the table column again. So that's 2 of them. So we've created a table cell, added it to the row, created a table cell, added it to the row. First thing we need to do, I'm going to push that last line down there a little bit. So first thing we need to do is TC equals a new table cell again. And this one's going to be identical to this right here with a different image. It's going to be these exact same lines again, just with a different image. I'm going to type them out though. So image equals new System.Web.UI.WebControls.Image. Set the image URL. This one's going to be called osu.jpg. Set the image to be set the visibility to true. We add the image to the TC. Controls.Add. So we've added the content to the TC, and now we do our horizontal align. Set the width to 100 like above. Do our tr.controls.add. Add that TC. Now we've created 3 cells because we have 3 columns, right? There's column span equal 3 above. We've created 3 columns. We've added 1, 2, 3. So we've got all 3 columns added to the table row. And what we need to do now is table.controls.add the table row. So now we've added that table row to the table, and we are ready for the next row. Control-Shift-B to build. Build succeeded. Come over here, view in the browser. And you can see how those lined up. For that exercise, you'll continue to do more of that. I've posted quite a few more rows. It is very repetitive. It is very easy to accidentally type a TC where you mean a TR or a TR where you mean a TC. So you need to look at that very carefully. If you are having issues, try commenting out a section. Let's say you built it after the first row. Like you built it right here, and then you added this and it didn't work. Well, why don't you comment out what's below do a multi-line comment. Down to wherever you're at. So there's our closing multi-line comment. And now we've got table.controls.add tr, and then build that, test it. That loaded, okay. So then move this one and say, well, let me go down to this row here and let's see if that loads. Control-Shift-B, and you keep working like that. You don't have to jump. You can do it one line at a time. You can put this on the next line, the next line, the next line, until you find the line that's giving you problems. And that's what you need to do to debug. There's within Visual Studio, you can also step through, but we'll do a different way of showing that than on this video. So that is a little shorter version of what's here. Again, when you're done, you should be able to do a Control-Shift-B. It should build successfully. You should be able to right-click on table, view it in the browser, and you should see it load here. So that's it for creating, using C# to create a table, to put a table onto the ASPX and have it rendered in the browser as HTML.